Chapter 17. An Unexpected Return. As David stepped into the familiar surroundings of the pub, the scent of fried food mixed with the subtle undertone of aged beer brought back countless memories of evenings spent behind the scenes, washing dishes and cleaning counters. The warm lighting, the well-worn bar stools, and the low hum of conversation were comforting reminders of the numerous hours he'd spent here, learning the ins and outs of the pub's operations. Behind the counter, Mike, the burly owner of the pub, looked up from the glass he was polishing. His thick eyebrows shot up in surprise as he registered David's presence. "David?" he asked, setting the glass down and striding over to him. "I wasn't expecting you here today. You usually come on Tuesdays, don't you?" David returned Mike's friendly greeting with a smile. "Hi, Mike," he replied, settling comfortably onto a bar stool. "Actually, I'm here for a different reason today." Mike raised an eyebrow, curiosity glinting in his eyes. "Oh, really? What brings you here, then?" David took a deep breath, gathering his thoughts before responding. "Well, Mike, things have changed for me," he began, trying to control his excitement. "I've been given an opportunity to start fresh. I've moved out from Sheila's house." Mike's eyes softened, a warm smile spreading across his face. "That's great news, David," he said sincerely. "I didn't know much about your circumstances, but I could tell you weren't treated well. I can't believe that Sheila Bringer. I mean, who sends their kid to wash dishes at a pub just for some change?" David nodded in agreement, appreciating Mike's understanding. "Yes, it was a tough time," he admitted, "but I'm ready to move on now." Mike nodded thoughtfully, leaning back against the counter and crossing his arms. "So what's your plan, David?" David met Mike's gaze, determination shining in his eyes. "I was hoping that I could work here, not as a dishwasher, but perhaps as a bartender." Mike looked taken aback, his smile faltering slightly. "That's a big step up, David," he acknowledged, a note of admiration in his voice. "But I've seen your work ethic, and if anyone can handle it, it's you." David felt a surge of gratitude. "Thank you, Mike," he said sincerely. "I'm ready to work hard, learn everything I need to know, and give it my all." Mike held up a hand, cutting David off. "David, I'd love to offer you the job," he said earnestly. "But there's one problem. You're only 17. You're underage. I didn't mind having you in the back washing dishes and paying you out of pocket, but if the city found out I had a minor working here, especially as a bartender, I'd be in a lot of trouble." David's face fell with disappointment. He hadn't considered the legal implications of working as a bartender. As much as it stung, Mike was right. He needed to find a job that was legally acceptable for his age. "I understand, Mike," David said, forcing a smile. "I appreciate your honesty. I'll have to think of something else." Mike nodded sympathetically. "I'm sorry, David. I wish I could do more. If you're still looking by the time you turn 18, I'll be happy to have you as an official employee and give you a salaried position. I'm sure you'll find something, though. You're a hard worker." David thanked Mike for his kind words and left the pub, his mind laden with disappointment. He felt a surge of frustration, but he knew it wouldn't do him any good. He needed to think of a solution, a job that would be suitable for his age and would provide him with enough income to sustain himself. As he trekked back to the heart of the city, David contemplated his options. If he was going to look for work outside of his personal connections, he might as well look for something near the Rising Phoenix Hotel. He could try to find a job in the service industry, perhaps at a restaurant or a coffee shop. Or maybe he could utilize his practical skills working in construction or maintenance. He looked up at the towering skyscrapers, their lights twinkling in the evening darkness. Hopefully I can find something soon so I can earn my place here. Little did he know that his movements were being watched.